Did someone say comic book cover challenge?
Better put the word out. Get ready for the nerd out. Better put specs on. Better break necks on. I caught handsome checks for my expansion sets.
What is going on, community? It is TJ, aka Flash by Night, and we are back here with the Marvel edition of the Bearded Comic Bro comic book cover challenge. So Bearded Comic Bro has basically made both a DC and a Marvel version of this challenge, where he wants us, the community, to show our top 10 covers for books we have in our collection. Shout out to him for issuing this challenge. I hope it grows and grows. It was pretty fun to do the DC challenge, but we are here doing Marvel. So I'm going to start off because I don't know if I opened this Pandora's box or someone else did, but I'm going to start off with my honorable mentions because they are going to lead into my first book, but I felt like I couldn't leave them unrepresented. So I have two Marvel hip-hop covers. The first one being All New Guardians of the Galaxy, #1, with that Soul Food Still Standing cover. And I have Howard the Duck #1 with the ODB cover. Yeah, so we are in here with these covers. I always loved them. Unfortunately, a couple of them got a little heat on them, got some value to them. And in my comic book infancy, I let them go because, you know, money talks. But I'd like to have them back now. So we'll see what I can do about, you know, getting some of those books back. But these are the ones I have. At least a couple of the ones I have. But those two honorable mention books leads me into my first of my top 10. And because Bearded Comic Bro also used a hip-hop cover, which was, I think, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, Ms. Marvel cover, we're going to go ahead, keep the Fuji train rolling with Ultimates issue #1 with this Fuji's The Score cover. You got Black Panther and America Chavez and Captain Marvel on the front. As soon as I saw this, I knew I had to have it. It was pretty much close to cover price. And like, this is one of my favorite albums and album covers, like, of all times. So I was glad to have this cover here. I'm going to switch it around so we can get away from the glare a little bit. But yeah, Ultimates #1 is the first in my top 10. And they really don't have an order, just in case you're wondering. But we're gonna keep on. And the next one, like you didn't have to guess, we're gonna have a few of these. Moonlight issue #1 with the Bill Sienkiewicz cover, and not just because of the signature, but we also have this kind of purple tint on it, which I didn't know if that was a mistake, if that was some kind of wear on the book, or if there were actually purplish versions of this book. But I've come to find out that there are purplish versions of this book. But what I really like about this cover is I don't know how well represented Moon Knight's other personalities were before Moon Knight #1, because this isn't his first appearance. But I really like the kind of showing of Jake Lockley and Mark Spector and Stephen Grant and Marlene. Marlene is just hanging out with everybody else. But I like these personalities on the front of the book. Marlene doesn't count as a personality. But I like these personalities on the front of the book, kind of representing what Moon Knight is going to be going forward. And that is why this is one of my favorite covers. Now, the next cover, if you are really, really quiet, in a really quiet room, no sound at all, if you listen really carefully, you can hear the book itself say, "What's up, danger?" So we have Miles Morales, Spider-Man issue number 8, and this is probably a cover that will never leave my collection. I think I had to. I may have gifted one to somebody, but I love this cover with this kind of really, really human looking. I mean, I know Miles is a human being, but like the way it is drawn and realistic looking, I love it. I love it. I love it. And yeah, this was always going to make the top 10 because I had to think about what I wanted my top 10 to be, because it's really hard. Like I figured that while I go through these books, by next week my top 10 won't be the same. But for right now, it is what it is. And my next book is Vengeance of Moonlight, issue number 10. Now, that being because A, I really do like the cover, and B, this is where we solidify my man Moonlight as an Avenger. And I know I almost chose West Coast Avengers 21 because that's when Moon Knight joined the West Coast Avengers. But I feel like people would probably kind of move that to the side, West Coast Avengers. But when Moon Knight is asked to join the Secret Avengers by Captain America, I think that makes it official, like that my guy's an Avenger. I don't want any questions. You may think that he's a solo guy and he doesn't work well with others, and he may not. But Captain America came to him personally and said, "We want you. And I want you to see that Moon Knight, Vengeance of the Moon Knight, issue number 10, is one of my top 10. Next book on the list is Moon Knight, issue number 1. I think this may be the Lemire run. I have not actually opened this particular book up, but I really love this book. I saw it on Mercari and got it for a good deal. In fact, I got this and another book basically for the value of the other book. And then I moved the other book. So this was basically free. But if you look really closely, you can see where Mark has sketched his name into his chest, or somebody else sketched his name to his chest. I don't know, but I love this cover. Great Moon Knight cover. If you are shocked that you are getting Moon Knight covers, we need to talk, but this is definitely one of my top 10. Now, before we keep going, I want to give a special shout out to Cole's Comic Claims. I think I got that right. Cole's Comic Claims. He is also doing this challenge, but the other thing he is doing is he is making a list of others who are doing the challenges, and he's giving shout outs. And so go ahead and check his channel out, especially for those challenge videos. If you want to know everyone else who's taking the challenge, you can find those in his video in the description. Cole's Comic Claims. Check him out. So we're going to keep on going. And one of the first books I ever actually purchased was the Mighty Thor 705. Now, I don't know if you can kind of tell. You got Jane Foster Thor and Mjolnir looking like they're kind of in the sun. And if you read Mighty Thor or have read Mighty Thor, you know why that is. This was a great book. This was one of my, as I said, one of my first books that I ever bought. Introduced me to comics in a few ways, to some of the good things about comics, some of the bad things about comics. Because this was a very emotional issue for me. And then they kind of stepped on it, but the cover is still great. So we got Mighty Thor issue 705. Next issue. Moon Knight issue number 6 from the Houston and Finch run. This is the Bloody Knuckles variant. There is a regular version of this book, but the blood is all gray instead. I think this may be a 1 in 10, I think, with the Bloody Knuckles variant. Very, very cool, very rugged, very representative of this run on this book, wherein Moonlight tears somebody's face off. But we'll get into more of that later when I start back catching up with the comics. But Moonlight, issue number 6, Bloody Knuckles variants, great. I love it. The next book in this in my top 10 is a book I had to hunt down because I pre-ordered it at my store, but the pre-order didn't come in, so I had to hunt it down somewhere. And it is one of the Black Panther 25 variants, and it is the Gleason. You can't say Webhead; it's not Spider-Man. The Gleason outline variant, maybe. But yeah, this was a great book to get. I don't know what more to say about it. It's really, really simple. There's a little bit of purple kind of inside of the white outline. But yeah, I love to get this. I love to grab this, and this is another one that I can get another copy down the road, but at least one copy of this will always stay in the collection. Well, we're coming down to the end. In fact, the penultimate book, another Moonlight book, Moonlight number 1, the Silent Night issue. With one of my, it was a fun time, but it was kind of a mistake. I got the Clayton Crane signature on it last year, but he does different signatures for different prices, and you guys know how frugal I am, and I ended up with the shorter version of the Clayton Crane signature when I should have gotten the longer version. Probably should have got it in red or something, but still love this variant. Love the Silent Night issue. Pretty fun story inside also. But yeah, Moonlight number 1, the Silent Night. And my last book, one that was really fun, and when I came into this, I said that I wasn't going to use any exclusives, any big books. I wanted to just use my cover priced books. But this one kept calling my name as I went back and forth about what were really my top 10 books. And this is Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 25. The Mike Mayhew variant, which is a homage. Okay, homage may be going too far. But anyway, it's a homage to Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 1, which was the second appearance of Miles Morales. This is really fun. I believe the original artist was Carrie Andrews. I think it says that kind of down bottom. But this is definitely one of my favorite covers. And it may as well call it cover number 1, since I couldn't go without it. It may be cover number 1. I'll have to give it some thought and see what really is my favorite issue. But that was my top 10 Marvel comic covers in my collection for the Bearded Comic Bro comic book cover challenge. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you saw something you liked. I hope that you will participate in the Bearded Comic Bro comic cover challenge. If you did see something you like, go ahead and press the like button. And if you want to keep up with me, with whatever I'm doing, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and as always, please feel free to leave comments. But as we always do it this time, love yourself, love others, and I will be back in a flash.